friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
fu muy fanaan ak kuy wut ku ko wétali xanaa delloo buntu gi war la naa boole Yaa Faatu's Guest House tijjil na leen buntu bi ñu leen fa am ak ñaari cabinet salle yu yaaña
amal leen li nga xamante ne mooy cabinet ak salle ñu ngi leen amal AC ak fan
salle bi nag lépp li ngeen soxla am na fa sofa yu nooy ñoo fa nekk TV bang fa cabinet boo dugga lal yu nooy leen fa amal nañ leen fa AC ak li nga xam ne moom mooy fan toilet yu set wicc amal nañ leen fa kitchen microwave fridge en room bu baax dama ne teranga day mut moo taxit Yaa Faatu's Guest House amal leen extra kitchen lépp lu ngeen bëgg a togg mun ngeen ko toggee si gas cooker bii nii
kuy xalam di si jaayu nag barke bi yaay borom amal ne li nga xamante ne mooy ndox ak courant 24/7 bu leen tiit bu leen ragal bu leen xof ndax amal ne lii di CCTV caméra
seet si leen ñu si Farafenni gannaaw garage yi base bi Kawur highway
very clean every day am na cleaning service ratio bi amul fenn
Yaa Faatu's Guest House teranga àdduna bët kon nag seet si leen ñu
Semina Star di African place bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sa buy bëggal sa xol dawal foofu ci Semina Star amal nañ leen lii di organic and body hair oil soap for hands and smooth face whitening soaps waaye tamit amal nañ leen lii di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals all natural wow all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex na ba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek ma ne xéewal day mat moo tax nag ñu amal leen lii di African clothes amal leen lii di baby carrière di mbootu ma ne ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit lii di turban hats bonnet fancy face mask képp koo xamante ne nag bëgg nga am ñii di Semina Star mun nga leen a contact si seen email adresse bi di seminastar@gmail.com wala nag foofu di seen website bi di seminastar.com bagage yu yaañ yii nag amul ci benn African country jamono juñ toll nii waaye nag am na ci European countries yi ak American countries yi pour bégal sa xol rafetal sa taar dawal foofu si Semina Star rafetaay yépp ay feeñ
yesterday. Then we move to page 4, the attendance. Can we please check it to ensure that it's correctly captured? All the names, constituencies. Okay, page 5, sorry. Continuation of the attendance. Yes. Opanyumi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. The honorable member for Lower Badibu was absent yesterday.
And the number?
Page 5, number 37.
Lamin FM Konta was not in attendance and he's captured on that.
Page 5?
Yes, it's page
5,
yes. Number 33. 33. Lamin FM Konta. Yes. He was not in attendance yesterday.
Wanted to correct it himself. He raised his tag, but am I right? Yes. Yes. Any more on 5? Page 5? Page 6? Yes, Jara East.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Page 6. Honorable Speaker, I recognize the point of order under clause 12.1 of the standing orders and ordered for the division bell to be rung for 2 minutes in accordance with the said standing orders to allow members within the premises.
Comma, education. There is no need for comma there. It's higher education. And the same thing goes for the second line, the second paragraph, higher education, no comma between them. And when you come on the suspension of the assembly, the paragraph under that, you have standing order. It should be standing orders, clause 13 of the standing orders. And the last paragraph, last line, is 2020 instead of 2021. So it should be 2021. You've seen it? Okay. Thank you.
2021.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Joshua.
Speaker, on just the paragraph about suspension of assembly. Both the past tense and past participle of wind up is wound up, not winded up. Wound up. It's not winded up.
Thank you. Lower Fuladu. It's okay. It's the same. Was it? Sorry, can we put our phones off or silent, please? Fonyi Bintang Karanlai, or was it Nyamina East? No, I thought I saw a tag around here. Then page 11? 10, okay.
The last paragraph where you have the Honorable Member for Lower Salum move a motion without notice under Standing Order 53B for the Assembly to adjourn until Wednesday 24th March 2021.
Yes, it has already been corrected. Maybe, yes, Jara East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The bottom page, the Assembly stood adjourned. Adjourned, stood adjourned, as opposed to stood adjourned. Thank you.
The sentence? The Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
No.
Answers. Thank you. Clerk, we may proceed.
Questions for oral answers by the Honorable Minister for Information and Communication Infrastructure.
Thank you very much. The question for which due notice was given to the Honorable Minister for Information and Communication and Infrastructure by Honorable Member for oral reply. Question number 75 of 2020 by the Honorable Member for Bakau. Honorable Member for, yes? Are we all together? Yes, please, Bakau. No, 75 of 2021. 2021, yes. We're taking the 2021 questions. Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Information and Communication furnish this August Assembly on the modalities and arrangements, if any, of the communication or network antennas erected in the Bakau Health Center premises.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, honorable members of this August Assembly. Let me first state that in order to provide this August Assembly with a befitting response to the question, the staff of the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure visited the Bakau Health Center to ascertain the nature of communication infrastructure deployed at the premises of the health center. Consequently, my staff, for example, if Gamtel wants something from, say, a national telecoms operator, if they want something from the owners of land in a particular place where they want to engage or build a tower, they will have to go ahead with them. I mean, government is not even involved. If they buy from the landowners, then that is the model that they will go with. If they lease, if the land is leased to them, of course, the agreed formula will be there for them to pay. But if it is also rented, then monthly it will also be paid. So that is what is in existence. So in this particular one, I don't actually know what is the agreement. Since they are private operators, they might they might have had some engagement with either the operators of that particular health facility or the Ministry of Health. And if it is ordinary people who have their properties, leased, sometimes you see towers erected on top of those things. That is also normally the same arrangements.
Honorable Member for Bakau, are you okay? Sorry. We can take, yes, Janjambure.
Honorable Minister.
The last time we were looking at Standing Order 53 with regards to the supplementary question, and an honorable member raised the issue that the two supplementary questions are exclusively for the original honorable member who asked the question, and if he doesn't, we just have to go by this strict interpretation of the rules and limit it to 5. But my concern there was the use of the word total. It says a total number of 7. Now, if for some reason the honorable member asking the original question doesn't want to ask any supplementary for clarification, does it mean that we should deny other honorable members the opportunity to ask? It's something that we can think of, and we'll look at the standing order so that we will not miss out any opportunity that is available. Janjambure, thank you.
Thank you. Honorable
Member for Janjam.
Don't you think?
Remember that the supplementary has to relate to any ambiguity raised during the answer provided by the Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Is what? Honorable Minister, my question is, I think it should be your responsibility to know what are the modalities arranged for these people to arrange.
Remember, that's not a question.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable Speaker, let me also say that
that was not a question.
We have more than...
We always say that if you have suggestions...
Yes. We have more than 500 towers in the country. And it would be very difficult for the minister to know the arrangements for each of those towers with private individuals or landowners across the country. But this particular one, because it's a health center, we have developed interest in it, and definitely we will provide the relevant answers as required, definitely.
Yes, Kantora, thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, would the Honorable Minister deem it fit
to actually make sort of a regulation to be, in the picture whenever these things are erected, sort of a guideline, sort of regulations. Whenever they are finished, they must consult the ministry. So this issue, I don't know, would be it in the past. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is very important. In fact, as part of our roadmap and strategy for the ICT infrastructure deployment, we have started doing that where, in fact, we want to discourage completely, each operator building your own tower across the country because it has environmental hazards and stuff like that. So what we are doing is to encourage co-location where you have one tower erected and then all the operators will share that, to minimize some of these things that, we are seeing. However, at the start of the liberalization of the sector, until recently, all of them were erecting their own towers as part of the competitive nature of the market. But we have already put in place a policy, and this policy is now in force, that before a tower is erected, a needs assessment has to be done, and that,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the chance. Honorable Speaker, can the Minister for Defense update this August Assembly on the findings of the 31st December 2014 attack at State House, which took some lives?
Honorable Speaker and distinguished members of this August Assembly, it could be recalled that on 30th December 2014, there was an armed attack on the State House. 3 of the attackers lost their lives and a mentally challenged civilian. The attackers who lost their lives were ex-Major Lamin Sane, ex-Captain Jaga Jany, ex-Sergeant Alaji Nyes. The attack was led by Lamin Sane, a dismissed major from the Gambia Armed Forces and one-time commander of the State Guards Battalion. After his dismissal, he fled to Senegal and later resettled in the United States of America. The other members of the attackers were Njaga Jany, a retired captain of the United States National Guards, Babukar Low, a former warrant officer, Class 2 of the Gambia Armed Forces, referred to as by Low, ex-Private Momodu Njai of the Gambia Armed Forces, Private Landing Sonko of the Gambia Armed Forces, who was on study leave at the time. During the exchange of fire at State House, Sane, Nyes, and Jany were killed in action. Low and Sonko escaped, while Momodu Njai was captured. The investigations further revealed that the attackers from the rear gate of the State House included ex-Lance Corporal Musa Assar of the Gambia Armed Forces, ex-Sergeant Papa Fall of the U.S. Air Force, ex-Sergeant Alaji Nyes of the defunct Gambia National Gendarmerie, Private Dauda Bojang of the Gambia Armed Forces. Other members.
We can take supplementaries from, yes, Tumana, yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, after the December 31st attack, did your ministry learn a lesson and go further by putting some plans in place so that, to avert such an attack in the future?
Thank you very much. That is an ongoing process. It all includes educating our troops and putting the necessary defensive mechanism of properties of importance of this country, and that process is on, Honorable Member.
Thank you. Birkama North.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, in your response, you did indicate that as part of the national reconciliation, after the change of government, all those convicted in the Gambia were granted pardon. Can you give this August Assembly the names of those who were convicted and pardoned?
I can reach out to my staff. When it happened, I was not in the country, but that's a very good one. I can fall back to my team, and I'm sure they'll be able to provide that information as soon as possible.
That was not a direct supplementary question. We can take another one. Honorable Member for Jimara, yes.
Thank you very much, Ma. Honorable Speaker, I just want to confirm from the Honorable Minister whether any of these attackers are working with this current government.
Based on the information I have received, none of them is now on our list because some were convicted, some were convicted in the United States. When I was ambassador out there, I followed the proceedings. I'm not aware of any of these attackers who are on active service, no.
Talinding, Honorable Member for Talinding.
Thank you, Ma.
77 of 2020 by the Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West. Authority was given to, is it Busumbala? Yes. Upper Fuladu West, yes. Go ahead,
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister of Defense inform this August Assembly if his ministry has authorized a new standard uniform for the Gambia Armed Forces or any section of the Army? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, esteemed members of this August Assembly, I would like to confirm that my ministry and the relevant stakeholders, especially at the National Security Council, are doing work in progress to adopt a standardized uniform for the new presidential guards. The new uniform being adopted is geared towards enhancing unity of command, interoperability.
There, you can join one transformer with a bigger village and cover it. That's what you do.
We can still take some more supplementaries there. Tumana.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. What the Honorable Minister is saying, the criteria that they use, I don't know whether if these criteria are used under this current regime or they were used in the last regime, because like you go to my constituents, the communities that benefited from this electricity are only the bigger ones. And whereas, it's just a matter of connecting a small community to a pole, but that did not happen, so I don't know.
Honorable Speaker, electricity connection is just not a matter of dropping a pole. Even if a village is small and is isolated, it still needs a transformer to connect the village, and it's expensive. So we have there some commercial reasons also that when we go on. So, and if the village is also far from a bigger village, they are also running a line. That village also is expensive. So it is both the expenses, commercial, and also the distances we look into. But that is what I'm saying is that if there is no form of discrimination against any community.
Any question? Yes, Sabah Sanja.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. As it is linked to... Yes, as it is linked to rural electrification, I think I have...
I hope you are not asking for Sabah Sanja. In which case, Sami will ask, and Nyani will also ask.
Actually, it's specific for Sabah Sanja. If I am allowed, I will let me rest that. Yes, because it's about the rural electrification coverage. There are villages in Sabah Sanja, especially Bambali, which is connected, but some individuals or some households are still not accessing the electricity. What is the problem then?
Once the phrase rural electrification project is mentioned, all constituencies will have an issue. Yes,
Honorable Speaker, if I understand the question, you talk about some households not having electricity. I don't know, maybe whether those households have poles around them, or they could not get meter, because some may not get the meter, but some maybe because the poles have not digged the area. That is coverage. So there are many communities whereby there is electricity, but there doesn't have 100% coverage. You are part of the village is covered, some part of the covered. If that's the case, the project that we are ongoing now is to fill those gaps. So if there's any gap whereby it's a village, like for Farafenye, not every area, in fact most of the places, not every area has 100% coverage in the village. So any area that is not covered, that's why in the project, when you surveyed the area, those villages, some of the villages who already have electricity, we still included in our list, because there are areas which are not covered. So they have to go there and cover them. But if they don't have meter, also that's a different thing. If they cannot get the meter, then that is maybe the shortage of meter. They can always go to Navek and then get it, because there's always a backlog of meter applications.
Sorry, just a second, honorable members. Let me get my records right. The first supplementary question was by honorable member for, no, I'm coming, yes, Sabasanjal, yes. Now Sami, and do I have Nyani? No? Okay, I didn't.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member, but that is a new question. You could have put in a question to that effect, and I'm sure the honorable minister would have been more than happy to respond to that. Let's not follow the Sami trend. Serekunda.
Honorable Speaker, would the Honorable Minister indicate what is responsible for the piecemeal approach to providing villages with electrification? Is it because the transmission will have to be linked to transformers to be able to get the distribution to the respective villages? And what is really the problem? Why not a universal approach?
Okay. Honorable Speaker, that is a good question. We have already inherited electrification in different places. So, for example, I'll give you an example of Kiang. Okay. From here towards Kiang, you have to get the transmission lines to get. First, you must get a source of energy. That source of energy must be transmitted. So either link it to Kombo here, Kotu, Brikama, that give energy to that area, or some areas to get it for a fenye. So that transmission line connecting it. Or else what happens is that you just put poles in villages and you cannot get any energy to that place. So that creates a lot of problems. That could be seen only as for political reasons. You just put poles, giving them, encouraging them that they are going to have light. It can take 2-3 years when there's no electricity pole. So that's why we try to see that, make sure that wherever we put transmission lines, we must be able to distribute it. Because if you don't do that, you're spending money on transmission, you cannot sell the energy, it doesn't make sense. So that gap has been created, so we inherited it. So we are now trying to see how we can fill it up. But then everybody wants it at the same time, which is not possible. So we are looking at areas, that's why we have a comprehensive survey, a very comprehensive one, and we have projects that is going to fill those areas. So every project, we have identified areas that will cover. That's why we say that the ECORIP, which is 66 million.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The response of the Minister about the issue of rural electrification projects. However, this piecemeal approach of these rural electrification projects, like in Yamanari, you see people erecting pole, other villages are deprived, so it's bringing a lot of confusion. So I think it's important for you to address it holistically, rather than sending team to a particular village, erect poles, others are also waiting, impatiently. So what has led to that as well?
I think it's a clear question that I've already answered. We don't put poles anywhere that we are not going to have electricity there. Some of these poles were erected before. Recently, then and one type also is that if poles are erected, you go to the villages, you erect the poles there, definitely the next stage is to get the transmission lines to the village. But you cannot also, as I said also, you cannot just be electrifying village after village, village after village. You know what? If we do that, by the time we reach maybe Jamanari, maybe 2023 after 2023. So if that is it, if we start from Banyu, for example, and we cover West Coast region for 100%, then we move along. If we move along that way, then definitely other parts of the country will not have it. That's why I told the honorable member of Serekunda, we have these gaps, and definitely everybody wants electricity, so at least it is fair to give as we move along. From one center, we grow until we meet.
Question number 48 of 2021, Honorable Member for Ilyasa. I just want to confirm, we have not received anything from him, no authority.
Yeah, Honorable, I got a call and he said he would call the table office. I don't know anything. But he called me to say that I can read his question. That already.
Yes, a precedent has been set in the morning, so he should be allowed to read.
It wasn't a precedent. I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that it was a precedent. Of 49 of 2021, honorable
purposes, then definitely a project coming on to complete that. That one definitely is there. The Giboro area is covered for projects. And then if they are post right now, then definitely it must be a project ongoing. You know, yes. But then when you come to street lights, definitely I cannot promise that.
Honorable members, yes, Central Badibu, you have a question.
Yes, thank you. Can the Honorable Minister go further to find out what are those poles meant for? Because that would be very essential for us to know what they meant for before we talk on street lights.
I think just what I have just said. If the poles are, there are actually poles there and they are erected, not before, but now this government, then definitely it must be linked to a project that is ongoing, or else they will not put any pole there. That's what I'm saying. So if it's there now, then there must be a project that is ongoing that is going to electrify that place. But I will take it up, and I will definitely take it up, you know, to find out what the poles are there for. But I have my engineers are here and they're taking note.
Honorable members, yes, Busumbala.
Thank you very much. This is not about street light, but this is about electrification. Are you aware there are some poles erected in some part of Congo, provided with wire, but no electricity, almost a year now? Are you aware of that, and what is your ministry doing to provide electricity to those communities, especially in Busumbala?
Very good. Maybe, I don't know exactly where, but I know in the Congo areas, they put electricity in the communities, and they already have the string, their wires, and then there must be also, there may not be transmission lines to those. So that's the current project we are talking about. The same project covered Kiang, is the same project covering the area. So now they already completed Kiang, they are now in the Congo areas. So some Congo area like Busura and others, they have the lines, some are even waiting for meters. So anywhere we have for that area also, it must be linked to this project, you know, then of course the work is ongoing. But they are anywhere, what I can show you, anywhere they put poles, definitely it's a project ongoing to electrify.
A situation whereby the prices of these sands has significantly increased for ordinary Gambian to even provide it because it's becoming a problem. Do you engage the geological department to revisit this decision?
Already speaker, you see the decision, okay, fine. As I mentioned, there was an issue, a health issue, but at the same time also there is limitation of sand and the increase of the number of the geological department is always engaged, you know, to look at the sand mining issues. And right now also we are even thinking of how to get sand from offshore. So, but then let me tell you, already member also that price
was dispute with the community. What are you doing
to engage those communities to make sure that those sands, those mining areas are exploited, so that there can be enough supply at the market, because right now our country is developing and the demand of sand is too high. Obviously, other sand mining areas need to be opened so that we can have enough sand in the market. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, you know, we are aware of the situation of sand, and right now we are surveying and opening up sand away from the coastal area too. So as we are going, as now we have applicants who are interested in opening sand mine in other areas. But of course, you have to do a process. There must be an environmental and social impact assessment. So where there are communities who, the moment there's a dispute in the community, it comes to my attention, I stop operation in that area to that the dispute doesn't escalate. But then community can engage by the applicants to the community, and they must get the consent of the owner of the area before sand mine is done. That consent must be sought, and the consent must be witnessed by the alkali and the chief. But if there is a dispute and it comes to my attention that dispute is brewing, definitely what I do immediately is to ask the Department of Geology to stop that operations until the community's dispute is settled. But then, as I'm saying to tell you now, right now we are looking at even trying to get sand offshore. Definitely, the sand deposits in the area in this particular part of the country is dwindling. And for construction materials, the further the distance, the more transport cost increases, the more the price will increase. So it's linked to transportation. In fact, it's transportation that actually increase the price. The fuel cost and also wear and tear. That's why they put art together to make the pricing. So as I said, from the pit, price is fixed, but along the way, then that's why the pricing goes up, you know, and which is not we are not controlled. But then definitely we are doing everything to make sure that we open where feasible. Definitely, it's not everywhere that if you have sand, you can mine. You know, there are areas which you can sand deposit, but you cannot mine them. You know, same way in a very, very sensitive ecological area, so you cannot mine. So it depends on the environmental impact assessment result.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, as I said earlier on, I don't like interrupting, but let's just all understand the essence of supplementary questions. If you feel that, I know it's very interesting, there are so many issues that will arise during the course of a question, but let us avoid bringing in new elements, that are completely not unrelated, but new, that require probably further answers. They can always be subject to further questions or a follow-up questions at the level of the ministry. Thank you. Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister is being asked to throw light on the challenges of the availability, accessibility and affordability of sand for construction. Would the Honorable Minister indicate concretely what the problem is, if the research has been done? If not, would they undertake to actually see this as a challenge and do a comprehensive research on the availability of sand for construction, and then the way forward to make it accessible and affordable?
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I think that's a very, very important question. One, I'll start with the challenges. There are challenges of sand. One, the source of sand, in where we're taking it in the Greater Banjul area right now is the main growth center. That's why most of the sand requirements are. And the sand deposits along the coastal beach stretches. Initially, we are mining at the beachfront, below and areas, and that's causing a lot of coastal erosion. We moved to the sand dunes. We call them the relic sand dunes or the coastal sand complex. That's why we are expecting now. And that one also, we started in Kato, And now you can see there's a big challenge of getting those sands. And now we are even thinking of going further up to see where you can get sand. So actually the challenge is getting the sand itself from on land is a challenge. And then getting sand from across the river from on the other side of Nyomi also, there are also transportation, bring it to this side of the country is a big problem. Okay, so now the research we have done is to look at possibility of getting sand from offshore and then pump it to the shore to be able to get sand. That's that we are doing now. I'm calling that environmental assessment on that one. So the challenge is one, the source. The challenge also is the cost of transportation, you know, and we have also have a challenge of monitoring and securing in those deposit areas. So there's a lot of challenge. But right now, what we are doing at the ministry, I have a special advisory committee of experts from all the ministries helping now to see how we can move ahead. So that's why I have a special advisor who is a geologist and also an environmentalist who is also a head of the National Environment Agency for several years. And we are putting together how we can meet these challenges. So the cost, as I said, affordability will also be a problem if the sources are reducing and if there are challenges, environmental challenges are there, and also if the distance that you travel from truckers to travel from the source to the market, that's also a challenge. So we are putting our head together to see how we can mitigate these challenges. But definitely the cost factor is a big challenge, because then it has to do with other party truckers, for example, particularly. That's a big challenge. But you are right. Every challenge you must have you do something to address it. So that's why I have this particular team that is working with me on that.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. Honorable Minister, I don't think this is the solution to the problem, because we are faced with a problem and we cannot be firefighting. Moving to North Bank region, that will cause harm to the environment too. Moving to Badibu or Kiang is the. Do you think of any alternative than sand?
Good. Honorable Speaker, also a very important question. Now the issue is alternatives to sand. What are the alternatives? Gravel dust, clay, for brick making, for example. But of course, you see, civil works, I guess, have different purposes. Sand has its own area that you can use it. For clay, it's for brick making. But all these materials are from sensitive areas. We are talking about sand in the coastal areas. When you come to clay, most of the clay deposits are also in Banta forest areas. So that one also is sensitive. If you look at the gravel, they are also in farmlands. So, and also the quantity of sand you are excavating for block making, for example, to get that from laterite dust. If you want to excavate, for example, now you stop sand mining, you go to laterite dust. The area you are going to excavate will be too much. So we have to balance it. So now the alternatives are to start to see, and we have to work with the engineering departments to see we can use all this type. Clay brick was there. We saw it. Clay deposits. One area that has big clay deposit is Busumbala. That's why we have a clay factory there. I was involved in that survey. But then that area is all settled. So definitely there's no clay deposit anywhere. So now the next clay deposit was Farawa, and that had a problem for Abanta. That's why we kill clay deposits. The others, you go to Kia West, Tonyataba, that's all, and they are too far away. So that is the problem. Okay, when you go to laterite dust also, you can see laterite gravel. If you go along the road, you see quarries, open quarries. They are eyesores. So that is the problem. So, but then we have to make that a balance. And there was also a study done on this alternative. So really you have studied this alternative survey. But then in some countries they have, they use wood. In Europe, so we have limited alternatives. That's why we have a challenge. So these are all part of the challenge, you know. But definitely we have conducted studies. There was a time I remember, not me, but we went all the way to Burkina Faso to see, because they don't have beach, but they are building inside. But they, of course, they have a lot of land, big land area. They can take that side, those area that are not even semi-desert area. But here, everywhere is vegetated, and everywhere is has some ecological sensitivity somehow. So it's a challenge, but then we have to see how we can balance our construction activities, especially civil works. But then, of course, our engineering department will work with them to see. But definitely, we've been working on that in the past. But this is a big challenge. I accept that. It's a big, big challenge, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. According to the question, the sand dealers are not allowed to have access to the ground. What benefits are the communities getting from those areas?
Okay, community benefits. There are two. Right now, communities are engaged, and the applicants, the operators, give some cash incentives, and those are actually also compensated. But also, there is what they call corporate social responsibility. So some operators also, depending on what the need of the community, if they need a well, they do well for them, or help the schools, whatever. That's the benefit. But generally, the benefit to the community comes through that kind of corporate social responsibility. What right now also the landowners are also compensated. So that's the benefit. But when you come to royalties, taxes, that goes to the state. Yes, because land actually is a resource that belongs to the state. But then the community, we call it the mining community. The mining community is a law to make sure they are compensated. And not only a Benwest and ECOWAS protocol. Right now we are working on that. That will come back to the local content. The local communities need to be engaged, and they really are engaged. Before you get a license, you must engage them, and you get their consent, and then you agree with them. Yeah.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Tumana.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, in the Greater Banjul area or in the urban areas, there are places that are identified as quarry where people will go and do the sand mining. But most of the times in the provinces, this is not what is really happening there. People just mine sand discriminatory. So what is your take on that?
Yes, that is true. We are now trying to get our geology staff to the provinces. Right now we have one in North Bank covering, but most of sand activities are mainly in the growth centers. If you go to like Eseu, Kerewan, Farafenni, and some of the big settlements, you know, there they have sand. And it has been a tradition that people get sand from closer to their environment to build. And not only for their own personal, but also there are also projects going on. The government projects are also going on where they get materials from that area. So we definitely have capacity issue at geology to be able to serve all the regions. But then what we are planning to do now is to work with the governors, at least to get a notice that they have people in the area that they can be trained to be able to monitor activities. Because you are right, sometimes there's lots of revenues there also for government, and it has environmental damage. People don't know. And my advice is working with the team to be now engaging the local government areas, the governors, at least to educate them on sand mining. Because people see it as a common resource, so you can take it anyhow and anywhere. But then definitely that's the area. But we are aware of that. And I think we will be engaging the governors and see how we can get people in the area to be able to monitor sand mine activities.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order.
Hello?
Point of order.
Who is asking for point of order? What's your authority?
Nyamina is.
Nyamina?
Nyamina East.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the way the proceeding...
Point of order.
Yes, is standing order 43.3.
Thank you.
And there I mean to say the way the procedure is going is like the minister is going against this very clause unknowingly. The question, the time that is required for a question to be answered is just 2 minutes. But the way the minister is explaining is like he is always going beyond the 2 minutes. Of course, every honorable member will like to get every detail of every question that is being asked, but we are guided by the standing order. We need to know that along the way. Thank you.
Thank you. Noted. Point noted. By honorable member.
Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure inform this August Assembly of his ministry's plan to construct the road network linking Nyaikunda Johnson, Maka, Padesan to Sunchalaji, as the road is seriously dilapidated? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, NRA has plans to dispatch a team of surveyors to carry out the necessary surveys and designs for the purpose of constructing, rehabilitating the mentioned road within this year or latest next year.
The question on that, honorable members? Okay. We move over to question number 28 of 2021 by the honorable member for Central Badibu. Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Bani Salikanyan Javakunda Road is in a serious condition. Can the Honorable Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure inform this August Assembly when shall the work be completed?
Honorable Speaker, as supervisor of the project, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, the NRA has recommended the reassignment of the works to another contractor based on the non-performance of the current contractor. However, more important, the Ministry and NRA has included the upgrading of this particular road in the 21-22 road maintenance program.
Any supplementary from honorable members? Yes, Serakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what has actually been very evident in your letter is the performance of contractors. Do you now have a policy of ensuring that those given contracts do have all the wherewithals to be able to implement them before the award? And is there competitive bidding before awarding those contracts?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, we do have, but it's a very tricky situation in the sense that we are trying to support and build the capacity, local capacity for civil works because of several reasons, one of which is about cost. We know that to engage foreign contractors and consultants is the reason why we don't have too many roads, because it's almost costing like $25 million per kilometer. And we hope if we engage our own contractors, we can bring this down drastically and be able to do more roads. So we have been taking risks by inviting more of our local contractors. That is the ministry. But this particular contractor was engaged by the Ministry of Agriculture. And we were assigned to do the supervision of this contractor. But, all the same, we are very
Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure informed this August Assembly of his ministry's plan to construct the road network linking Njaikunda Johnson, Maka, Padesam to Suncha Alaji, as the road is seriously dilapidated. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, NRA has plans to dispatch a team of surveyors to carry out the necessary surveys and designs for the purpose of constructing, rehabilitating the mentioned road within this year or latest next year.
The question on that, honorable members? Okay. We move over to question number 28 of 2021 by the honorable member for Central Badibu. Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Bani Salikanyan Jawakunda Road is in a serious condition. Can the Honorable Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure inform this August Assembly when shall the work be completed?
Honorable Speaker, as supervisor of the project, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, the NRA has recommended the reassignment of the works to another contractor based on the non-performance of the current contractor. However, more important, the Ministry and NRA has included the upgrading of this particular road in the 21-22 road maintenance program.
Any supplementary from honorable members? Yes, Serakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what has actually been very evident in your letter is the performance of contractors. Do you now have a policy of ensuring that those given contracts do have all the wherewithals to be able to implement them before the award? And is there competitive bidding before awarding those contracts?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, we do have, but it's a very tricky situation in the sense that we are trying to support and build the capacity, local capacity for civil works because of several reasons, one of which is about cost. We know that to engage foreign contractors and consultants is the reason why we don't have too many roads, because it's almost costing like $25 million per kilometer. And we hope if we engage our own contractors, we can bring this down drastically and be able to do more roads. So we have been taking risks by inviting more of our local contractors. That is the ministry. But this particular contractor was engaged by the Ministry of Agriculture. And we were assigned to do the supervision of this contractor. But, all the same, we are very
kuy wut fu muy fanaan ak kuy wut ku ko wétali xanaa delloo buntu gi war la naa boole Yaa Faatu's Guest House tijjil na leen buntu bi ñu leen fa am ak ñaari cabinet salle yu yaaña
amal leen li nga xamante ne mooy cabinet ak salle ñu ngi leen amal AC ak fan
salle bi nag lépp li ngeen soxla am na fa sofa yu nooy ñoo fa nekk TV bang fa cabinet boo dugga lal yu nooy leen fa amal nañ leen fa AC ak li nga xam ne moom mooy fan toilette yu set wicc amal nañ leen fa kitchen microwave fridge and room bu baax dama ne teranga day mut moo taxit Yaa Faatu's Guest House amal leen extra kitchen lépp lu ngeen bëgg a togg mun ngeen ko toggee si gas cooker bii nii
kuy xalam di si jaayu nag barke bi yaay borom amal ne li nga xamante ne mooy ndox ak courant 24/7 bu leen tiit bu leen ragal bu leen xof ndax amal ne lii di CCTV caméra
seet si leen ñu si Farafenni gannaaw garage ci Basse bi Kawur highway
very clean every day am na cleaning service ratio bi amul fedd
Yaa Faatu's Guest House teranga àdduna bët kon nag seet si leen ñu
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that
Semina Star di African place bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sa buy bëggal sa xol dawal fofu ci Semina Star amal nañ leen li di organic and body hair oil soap for hands and smooth face whitening soaps waaye tamit amal nañ leen li di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals all natural wow all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex daba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek ma ne xéewal day mat moo tax nag ñu amal leen lii di African clothes amal leen lii di baby carrier di mbootu ma ne ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit lii di turban hats bonnet fancy face mask képp koo xamante ne nag bëgg nga am ñii di Semina Star mun nga leen a contact si seen email adresse bi di seminastar@gmail.com wala nag foofu di seen website bi di seminastar.com bagage yu yaañ yi nag amut ci benn African country jamono juñ toll nii waaye nag am na ci European countries yi ak American countries yi pour bégal sa xol rafetal sa taar dawal foofu si Semina Star rafetaay yépp ay feeñ